it only feels right to open this episode with a song lyric from Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston. And if you know the song, sing along. There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles? Okay, that's enough. You get the point. Before we jump into today's episode, I wanted to share something that I've created that's going to be launching in the new year. And I've created a 6-week group coaching program, and it's called Show Up Like a Boss. And what I've noticed in entrepreneurs, people in the online space, people that have network marketing businesses, is that you have to put yourself out there. You can't just put a post on your Instagram story and think everyone's going to buy it from you. And people have a hard time with putting themselves out there, with talking into the camera, with really letting themselves be seen for who they are. And it's because we're so afraid that we're going to be judged. We're so afraid that it's not going to be perfect enough. And we're so afraid of what other people think. And so I've created a program to help you if you're ready to get over the fear of judgment, if you're ready to get over the fear of rejection, and you're ready to reprogram your mindset so you can show up in your business, rank up in your company, learn how to specifically get your audience to know, like, and trust you, how to powerfully put yourself out there and speak confidently into the camera. I want to help you share your story because your story is what will impact people. I want to help you feel confident going live on Facebook or Instagram and really start to manifest building a community in your own authentic voice and your own authentic confidence. And ultimately, when you show up, you'll make more money because you're sharing yourself in a way that you never have before, and your intention is to serve people. And so it's a 6-week program to help you master the art of showing up powerfully so you can make your income match your impact. So if you're interested in this program, it is application only. So what will happen is I'll leave the link to the application for the program, and then you'll book a discovery call with me. So we'll get on the phone together and make sure that it's the right program for you, because I'm only accepting women that are 100% ready to step into their power and make a difference so they can make more money in their life. And not just make more money for like the things, but like to create freedom, like real, true freedom. The application is in the show notes, so go ahead and fill that out, and I cannot wait to connect with you. Welcome to the Badass Manifester podcast, keeping you inspired with high vibe content, bringing you the best manifestation and mindset tools, teachings, interviews, and answering questions to help empower you to get out of your own way and take massive action to make magic your everyday normal. I'm your host, Ashley Gordon, spiritual life and manifestation coach, helping women and spiritual entrepreneurs manifest more impact, influence, and income. It is my purpose and pleasure to help you wake up to the badass creator that you are. Let's do this. That was vulnerable, but I don't know what better way to open up this episode, because it's really about miracles that happen in relationships, in people's lives when you hold the faith, hold the vision. One of the biggest miracles of my life occurred in my relationship with my mom. And many of you don't know, but you'll find out in this episode. It's one of the most vulnerable episodes that I've shared. And I'm just so grateful to my mom. Shout out to my mom for being the brave, amazing woman that she is. I love you so much. Enjoy the episode. Today's a really special episode, like the most special, like the best episode that I've ever had on Badass Manifester podcast, because I'm interviewing my mom today. Her name's Sheri, and she's such a special lady, obviously because she gave birth to me, but because she has had such a journey in her life and so many lessons learned along the way, and she's literally made me who I am today. And so I thought, I have to share this with you guys. And we've wanted to record this for a long time, and we finally got to do it. So, Mom, I am so happy and honored to have you on Badass Manifestor podcast.
I'm so happy to be here. I would like to wish everybody a happy and healthy, prosperous New Year.
Yes. In yoga last week, when it was New Year's Eve yoga, we had to write down our intentions for the new year, and I wrote down faith, fun, possibility, prosper.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
So I have to ask you, it's the first question I try to ask all of my guests, what makes you a badass manifester?
I'm very grateful. I'm very kind. And I feel that like meets like. So I feel like whatever I think now, whatever I put my intention to, will come back to me in some way or another. It might be not directly what my thoughts are, but it will indirectly come about. I know that.
I love that.
Yeah. Once I stopped holding on so tight and I let my higher power do the work, it all just came flowing to me.
I love that. That's beautiful. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
No, thank you for allowing it to happen.
So where should we start? I think we wanted to record a podcast, but we didn't know where to start because we've had a very long life. We've had a very, I don't know. You know, I feel like when people look at me, they say, well, she's got it all together. And even when I post, you know, with you, like, oh, you and your mom have a perfect relationship, or you have, you know, you guys have it all together. And I think like that's one of the biggest misconceptions that people have about me. Like they think just because I look a certain way and, you know, put myself out there in a certain way that I've always been this way.
Well, you've always been very special. You know, when Ashley was young, and she was very young, I had been very sick. I have Crohn's disease. I've had 4 resections, and I'm going to put it right out there. I got addicted to pain medicine. So it wasn't always easy for Ashley. She had to take care of me.
I'm an only child, by the way, if you guys didn't know that. I have a half brother and a half sister, but I was raised as an only child.
Yeah. She had to do things for me that no child should ever have to do for their mom. She was always compassionate, understanding, very resourceful, and just extremely understanding. She had an old soul for a young girl.
And it was still like really like just because I was composed as a child, I think says a lot about you and the way you raised me. But also, you know, it wasn't always easy, right? Like it wasn't
rough. Always easy at all because
there was a lot of lessons along the way, you know.
Right. Which made you a stronger person for it, if I might say. I mean, you never became a victim because of my problems. Mm-hmm. You never made my problems your issues. There was a time you wanted to go on a school trip, and I was out of the hospital. I had no money. It was Israel, and it was very bad conditions there at the time, very unsafe. I mean, even my dad, Ashley's grandfather, said that he would stop speaking to me if I let her go. So she really wanted to go. And anything this young woman wanted to do, she has always accomplished, no matter what age she was. So she had car washes.
She was very resourceful.
She packaged things that we had around the house and sold them as gift baskets at school. She sold candy. This kid raised enough money and convinced me to let her go. And she went, and I'm really happy she did. She came home from Israel and said, Mom, I saw my books become alive. That's just a smithereen of her ingenuity and her resourcefulness.
Thanks, Mom.
And not only me being sick, but she didn't know her biological father until she was 15 years old. So,
yeah, you guys probably don't know this about me, but it's something that I want to share more of because I think that, you know, what separates people that go through things and have circumstances in life affect them. I don't know what I'm saying there, but I feel like what what separates people from, I don't know what I'm saying. It's like,
no, I do know what you're saying. She hasn't let her circumstances define her.
Yeah, and I think that's a big teachable moment for everyone listening is we all have circumstances. Yes, I didn't meet my dad till I was 15. Yes, my mom was sick. She got addicted to pain pills. We had a lot of struggles throughout the years with all those different situations, and also a lot of blessings and a lot of love. But none of that, I didn't allow any of that to define me. I didn't allow any of that. Like, some people might not meet their dad their whole life and think that they're unwanted or unloved or, you know, not accepted, right? I didn't make things mean anything. I just took it on and decided that, you know, the day that I met my dad, it was, okay, that's a whole nother thing, but.
That's a whole nother podcast. Maybe she'll have him on one day.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
And then she had a wonderful man that raised her. I met Albert when Ashley was 2.5, and he loved her more than he loved me. No, I mean, he is crazy in love with his daughter. She became his daughter.
Yeah, I met him at 2, and I just started calling him Dad.
I mean, she was comfortable with him. She felt safe with him. We both did. And he, to this day, is in both our lives stronger than ever. And we're great friends. And he's Ashley's daddy.
Yeah.
You know?
He was at every basketball game telling me, bro, get in the center. Get in the center. He telling me what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, yelling at me always.
Held her in his arms when she had chicken pox. I mean, he was her daddy. He raised her. One thing I always instilled in Ash was you can never have enough love.
Yeah.
You can never have enough love. And the second thing was whatever you do in life, love what you do, and you'll never work a day in your life.
And the third thing was you can do anything you put your mind to.
Yeah. I told her she was powerful. I told her there's nothing she can't do if she puts her mind to her.
You raised me with a lot of confidence. Like, you always told me I was beautiful. You always told me I was powerful. You always told me I could do anything I wanted to do. And so that subconsciously sunk in. Like, that's probably why I was resourceful. That's probably why I, raised money to take trips. Like, anytime I wanted to do something, like, there was nothing that was going to stop me from doing it.
And it didn't.
No matter what my circumstances are. Wink, wink. That's for you too, right? Like, if you want something, go for it, no matter what your circumstances are.
And it will happen. It will happen.
That's where the faith comes in too. I think that's why I have so much faith, is because I went for it, it worked out, and so even when things didn't work out, I still knew that it was for a greater reason.
Right. Because it worked out in another way. It wasn't meant to work out at that time.
Right.
That's the strange thing about life. Is like when I was talking about manifesting, when you asked me about how do I manifest, or I forget exactly what the question was.
What makes you a badass manifester?
Yeah. It's like you might think of something or want something and it shows up in a different manner, but it's just crazy.
I always say that the universe knows what you want, but more importantly, it will always give you what you need.
Right.
You'll
and I feel
get what you need.
And that's what I am.
Yes.
I have right now everything I need. I have a job to go to that helps me pay for an apartment I live in Florida. I just purchased a brand new car for myself. I got my teeth fixed with help from my daughter. I'm so grateful at this stage of my life. I'm grateful for the health of my family. I know now that material things come and go, and they don't really have any value at all. I don't need to wear a big diamond ring to show somebody I have money, and I don't. I mean, it's what really matters is being with family, being with friends, having that opportunity to express yourself with people that understand you.
Yeah, because you had all the things. You had all the nice things. My mom built a gorgeous house with her fiance. She had the most beautiful diamond ring. She had a convertible BMW. Like
and I wasn't happy.
Right.
It didn't make me happy. I was miserable. And it took the paradox of having it all and then having nothing to realize there's an even keel. That happiness doesn't mean things. Happiness means joy. Happiness means health. Happiness means being together with my daughter. Presence.
Yeah.
And
it's so true. It's so true. And I always say, like, when I'm teaching, that it's not the thing that we desire. It's the feeling that the thing brings. And we can cultivate those feelings within ourselves. We don't actually need those things, you know?
I feel just as rich when I do my gratitude in the morning with my cup of coffee.
It's amazing.
And it makes me realize all I do have. You know, shoes on my feet, clothes on my back, food in my refrigerator. The biggest gift in my life has been you. I look up to you. I look to you for guidance and love and support.
I'm gonna cry.
No, don't cry.
I look up to you for the same things.
I mean, it's so great to have someone to listen to me and not judge me and just, unconditionally love me.
Yeah, girl. And you taught me that.
Yeah. Well,
it was hard.
We taught each other.
It was hard for a little while.
Yeah, it was hard when I was in my addiction.
Yeah.
That was our only...
My mom and I have always been so close, like my whole life. Because, yes, I had my amazing dad raise me, Albert. And yet, I was a mommy's girl. Like, I really was. And still am. And, we were always so close, but her addiction was the one thing that really got in the way of our relationship a lot. And it was really challenging just because, you don't want to see someone that you love so much hurt themselves or not realize how they hurt other people. And it's just hard. It was just really hard. But I'll tell you guys an amazing story because miracles happen. Like, here's the thing. Like, I want you guys to know. Well, I want you guys to know many, many things. But miracles freaking happen. So about 4 years ago, I had a yoga clothing line, and I was going to this chiropractor. And he was so cool, and he was always asking me what I'm doing. And he wanted to buy a pair of yoga pants for his wife. And the yoga clothes had chakras on them. And so he got a pair for his wife. And then I never met his wife before. And then I was at a coffee shop one day, like months later, and I met his wife. And I was like, oh my God, hi. Like, I hope you enjoy the pants. And she was like, yeah, cool. Like, they're awesome. And that was it. And then months after that, she messages me on Facebook and asks me to teach yoga at her rehab center, which is called Enlightened Solutions. And I was like, absolutely. Like, that sounds incredible. So I ended up getting a job as a yoga teacher at Enlightened Solutions Rehab. And I was teaching there for 4 hours a week. So I was there twice a week for 2 hours each. And I got to really, know and like everyone that worked there and all of the clients. And I started to tell my mom that I got a job at this rehab center and how amazing it is. And, I was trying to plant a seed with her. Like, this place is so nice. Like, it's beautiful. It's all organic food. It's holistic. They do yoga, Reiki, meditation. They have everything, like aquatic therapy, horse therapy. Like, everything that you could imagine. It's such an amazing facility. And she was like, yeah, like, that's great. She was happy I worked there,
But, unbeknownst to Ashley, in the back of my mind, way in the back, a little flurry of a thought came into my head. And I thought, I am going to go to that rehab center. But not yet. I'm not ready. Never mentioned it to her.
Yeah, and when although I knew my mom had an addiction, she always would deny it to me. So it was like, it wasn't something that we could openly talk about because it was like it wasn't really there. You know what I mean? So anytime I would mention it, it wouldn't really be like, it wouldn't be a good situation if I was to say like, hey, come here, because
it would always be a turbulent conversation because I would say, I'm not addicted. I go to a doctor. The doctor prescribes a medicine. I don't go out on the street and look for drugs.
Right.
And she'd say, Mom, you are really messed up. You can't see it. And then she videoed me and showed me a video because I didn't know she did it. And it showed me in a very
very bad state. Long story short,
couple years later,
after working there for about 2 years, she came home for my grandfather's birthday, and I had already gotten a call from her roommate that she was, not doing great, and I knew I was going to see her, and I just had this strong sensation. I was like, my mom is going to rehab this time. Like, she is going to go to rehab, and she'd never been to rehab before. And so Todd, my husband, was like, okay, but how are you going to bring this up? How are we going to make this happen? How are we going to do this? And I was like, I don't know. We're just going to give it up to God, and we're just going to trust and pray that it all works out. And so we're driving home for my grandfather's birthday, and I asked my mom.
No, you didn't. You said, Mom, I have to talk to you. I said, what? And inside I knew what you were going to talk to me about. I didn't know about rehab, and you said, she told me that my roommate had called her and that I'm not in a good way. And what if I took every obstacle out of your way and got you into Enlightened Solutions? What would you think about that? And I was very quiet. Inside, my mind was racing. I'm scared. What if I'm in pain? All these.
And you didn't have a job at that point, so it was a
good
time.
I couldn't hold down a job. I worked in places for 10, 12 years.
My mom's a very put-together woman. You would never know. You would never know that we were dealing with this.
And anyway, I knew there was going to be no other time. There was no time.
It was
wasn't
literally
now.
The perfect time.
I mean, I was 62 years old, and I surrendered.
Yes.
I surrendered. 3 days later, she had me in detox. 8 days later, I got a ride. They sent a van for me, and I went into Enlightened Solutions for 25 days. And it was the hardest thing I've ever done. I cried so much, I didn't know I'd have eyes left. She cried so much. I mean, it was so awful. But it turns out to be one of the best things that ever happened to me.
The day that you left for rehab or for the detox, it was the day of my last module in coach training. So I was going to North Jersey. I don't know if you remember that, but I was on my way there. You had been picked up, and it was like the happiest moment of my life. It was like the happiest day of my life, and I kept saying, like, this is the happiest day of my life. Like, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe it. I couldn't believe it. It was surreal. It was surreal.
You made it all happen.
But the craziest part was when we were in the car, and she was like, yes, I'm ready to get help. I called the one of the main, like, the president of Enlightened Solutions to help me get her into a detox, and he tried every single detox center, and he kept calling me back, no luck, no beds, no luck, no beds. And I was like, God, thank you in advance for helping my mom get into one of the best detox centers that she can, even though they kept telling me they were all full. And then he called me. He's like, you know what? I'm going to try one of the best centers. And I was like, okay, great. And he called me back, and he was like, she's in. And I was like, oh my God. I don't even think I told you that. But I was on my toes. And I was just praying, and it paid off. And I'm so proud of my mom. So proud of her. She has almost 2 whole years in recovery.
February 21st. But who's counting?
I'm seriously so proud of you.
You know what, guys? This is just a lesson for anyone that has anything that they think they can't get over. I'm telling you, from the mouth of experience, you can move mountains. You can change your life. You could change your paradigm. The only thing that's needed is you have to want to. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Amen. Amen. So beautifully said. So beautifully said. And I know you were saying, like, it was the hardest 25 days of your life. And it was. Like, I don't doubt that whatsoever. But you did it. Like, you did it. And you should be so proud of yourself. Are you?
I am, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I just,
I mean, you guys, my mom and I, because of the situations and all the circumstances of her, not being able to hold down a job for, a long time, or not being able to save money, or, any of that stuff that was in the way of our relationship, like, we took the most vacations this year together than we ever have in our entire life. We went to Mexico, we went to California. She came to visit me a few times. She lives in Florida. I live in New Jersey. And so it's just been like a new life for us, a new life. And that's how, like, the reality shifts after you make that decision. And she didn't just make that decision for herself. And I think people say to me, can you create for other people? I think you can embody what you want people to do. And
they have to make the decision.
They have to decide. Yeah, for sure.
If I could help one person who's listening with my story, with Ashley's story, I feel like that would be my biggest pleasure. Honestly, that would be my greatest gift for the new year. To let us know. Let us know if this resonates with anyone.
Because, you guys, this is really vulnerable to share. Like, for me, and more importantly, even for my mom. Like, this is not something that she was okay sharing even just a couple months ago.
No, but then I realized just what I said. If I could bring light to someone's situation, if you're having problems, it doesn't have to be addiction. It could be gambling. It could be whatever. Whatever you think, you know inside what your demons are or what your problems are. But especially addiction. If you have any addiction problems, you can be helped. You can do it.
You can do it. Yeah.
If I can do it, you can do it. I wish you the best 2019.
1999.
Yeah.
So also, with that being said, my mom is the one. She is the one who introduced me to The Secret. She's the one who, I was, at that time in my life, I was in a really, really bad relationship, or getting out of a bad relationship. I was so depressed.
Well, it was her first relationship.
My first love.
Yeah.
And she's the one who was like, Ash, we're watching this movie, The Secret. And
no, you said, what do you want for Christmas? And I said, I want this book, The Secret. And you said, what's the secret? And I said, well, get me the book and we'll read it together.
Yeah. And then someone ended up giving you a movie.
Yeah. And then we watched the movie. And
it was like a light switch went off.
Yeah.
I know I've shared this story a lot of times, but.
And then Ashley got this book, Letters from God.
Conversations
with God.
One of my favorite books ever. Everyone go read it.
And then she flew. She just flew. She never stopped. It was from that moment on, she was just on her
testing
journey.
It. I was like, wow, thoughts become reality. Let me check this out. I had nothing to lose. I had absolutely nothing to lose at that point. And I just went for it. I was in college, and it would be as simple as me walking into like a bar and being like, some guy is going to buy me a drink. And then a guy would buy me a drink, and I'd be like, wow. And then I'd be like, okay, I'm going to get the best parking spot at my school. Because parking was so annoying at my school. And I would get the best parking spot, and then I would manifest grades, and I would just manifest everything. I manifested study abroad trip just because I had nothing to lose,
And you believe. When you have nothing to lose and you go for it and you believe you could do it, you could do anything. That's what you did.
That's what I did.
I mean, if I tell you, and I don't want to brag, but she has manifested her life, and her life is beautiful. And she's beautiful. And she gives to everyone whatever she can. From her thoughts, her feelings, her ears, to her love. She's the most joyful girl I've ever known. And I just, I'm so proud to be her mother. I love her.
I'm so proud to be your daughter. I was going to say your mother. Just kidding.
Funny.
I'm funny. No, but thank you.
Thank you.
You made me, girl.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We're not done, though, are we?
What else you want to talk about? Should we listen to it?
So we listened to the podcast and we decided, but wait, there's more. Enjoy. When I first told my mom that I was starting a podcast, I was so nervous to have her listen to the very first episode before it ever launched, because my mom is always my greatest fan and my biggest critic in the best way. Like, she always just wants me to present myself in the best possible way that I can, which makes me a perfectionist. And there's a lot of value in being a perfectionist, but it's also very
stressful.
Exactly.
I do stress her out. I feel, and this is just my feeling, and I have to work on this, that as her mom and her best critic, I am constantly critiquing her. I don't mean it in a bad way. I don't mean it in an insulting way. I just want her to be the best version of herself she can be, but she already is. And so I really have to work on telling her, oh, you said like too many times. Oh, you're breaking out. Oh, your hair's greasy. I don't know. I just do
mother-daughter dynamics. I mean, I hope this is relatable to you, in a mother-daughter dynamic of, like, just... You have very high expectations of me, and I think that that's a really common thing, through a lot of people.
I say things, and I think that you're so above everything. But you know what? You have thoughts and feelings like everyone else.
I'm a human, you guys. Yeah. I'm a flawed human. I'm perfectly imperfect. And so when I had her listen to the first episode, I was literally shaking. I was so scared. We were actually in Mexico at the time. And I watched her listen to it, and she turned to me afterwards, and she was like...
That was amazing.
Yeah.
I was blown away.
I was like, oh my God, she likes it. Okay, I can do this now.
Oh my God.
And meanwhile, I just shared this recently. About 1 year ago, I did my first live video ever. And my mom called me afterwards, and she goes, Ashley, delete that video. She's like, you said you had pauses, you said it was horrible representation of who you are. Delete that video. I said, Mom, I'm so proud of myself. I was so afraid to go live,
Which I just found so hard to believe, because this woman, Ash, you were on stage. In every school play, you were the lead. When that spotlight went up on you, you were born to be up there. And you had no fear of the audience. You sang, you act, you were fantastic. So when you kept telling me you have these reservations about going live, I'm thinking to myself, why?
Yeah. Yeah, and like when I shared with my mom through my own self-discovery and personal development that I've battled with the feelings of not feeling good enough or not feeling worthy enough, like she literally couldn't believe it.
I couldn't, because she comes across so confident and so sure of herself.
Yeah.
And like she can do anything. And that's how I look at her. But I have to break it down and just know she's a person.
I'm a person.
And she's so soft.
Mic drop.
Cuddly. And I have to be careful of my words, because your words are things. And
words create reality, yeah.
Words are energy, and they hurt.
And, my mom and I have an amazing relationship, and we also get on each other's nerves. We're normal. We're a normal mother-daughter. We fight, we laugh, we laugh, and then we cry, and,
And then we kiss and make up.
And then we're mean to each other, and it's great. Like, we do all of it. And it keeps it interesting, for sure.
But the biggest picture is that I couldn't be prouder of my daughter and everything she does. In every way.
Thanks, Mom. And I couldn't be prouder of you. I know. I think we said that like 3 times already.
But it's true.
But it's so true. Yeah. I'm grateful.
I have to be much more careful what I say.
I have to be much more careful what I say.
I just think that you are so strong, and that you know where I'm coming from. I'm not coming to criticize you.
So when she comes to my house and I have mounds of laundry in the laundry room, she can't help herself but just do the laundry. And I'm so grateful.
I say, take a day
and do the laundry. But it's not my priority. My priority is you guys. My priority is delivering content and being of service. And sometimes that means that I don't have clean underwear, but it's worth it. But no, 2019, I'm prioritizing my household, because my household is the place and the container for all of this good magic to happen.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. And believe me, I'm not messy. I do my business so I can have a cleaning person once a week. Just kidding. That's not why I do it. You guys know that.
No, she cleans up before company.
Yeah, so if you ever want to come over, I'll make sure that you'll
call first.
Just call first. The house will look amazing. No, but this has been such a great year, and I'm so happy that we got to make so many amazing memories together. And I can't wait to see what amazing memories we'll create in 2019 together.
I'm thinking of one.
What's that? Oh. She wants me to make her a grandchild.
That would be nice. Well, I'm old enough to play on the floor with her. No, whatever's going to be is going to be. And it happens for a reason, or it doesn't happen for a reason. When it's right, it'll happen. And I've accepted that.
So with all of your life experience, Mom, with all of your ups, your downs, your lefts, your rights, what is one lesson that you've learned out of all of them that you would like to share with everyone? No pressure.
I've learned what you've taught me. I mean, I really see what you talk about now. And I've learned that if there's a will, there's a way. There's just no doubt about it. And, manifesting, thinking, praying, doing gratitude, being kind to people, whatever it is will bring me closer to being, the best version of myself. And awesome. I can do it. I can do it.
I can do it.
I'm like the little train that could.
I think I can. I think I can. I think I can.
And life is a journey, and we never stop learning. We never stop learning. We never stop living. We never stop loving until we don't. And so we got to make the best out of it while we have it.
Yeah, in the yoga class that I took today, the teacher, Brittany Bruno, she said, one day you and I will cease to exist. And so you have to remove anything that's in the way of you really going for all the things you want to do.
Wow.
It was really
good.
Powerful.
That was real good.
It was really, really powerful. So we'll leave you with that. There will be more mother-daughter podcasting. What did you call the podcast?
You're all podcastettes. That's my word.
Podcastettes. All right, Sheri.
All right, Ashley.
Mommy.
Daughter.
Peace.
Peace out. Love you all.
Motherfuckers. Just kidding.
I was going to say that.
I know you were. Thank you so much for listening to the Badass Manifester podcast. I love manifesting Mondays with you. And there's so much more in store right here. The best way to manifest love is to give love. If you loved what you heard today, subscribe to the Badass Manifester podcast. Leave a review on iTunes. Let me know how much you dig the energy here. All of my social is linked up in the show notes, so screenshot this episode, tag me on Instagram, and let me be part of your real-time journey. For more info on me, feel free to go to my website, manifestwithash.com. Repeat after me. I am my own power source. I am the master of my energy, and I deserve everything that I desire. Go get them.